got me?
Good evening, fight fans, and welcome to another episode of Tough Sports TV. I'm your host, Jack Fletcher, and I'm delighted to welcome on this evening Saturday night special edition with Mr. Gentleman John Hedges. John, how you doing, sir?
What's happening, Jack? You all good, mate?
Yeah, I'm very well. How are you on this Christmas Saturday evening?
Yeah, not too bad. It's quiet, innit, with lockdown and that, but yeah, we're all right, all good.
I've seen on social media just recently that you've there's been a bit of an announcement in terms of your stable. Very exciting stuff. Do you just want to tell us all about it, John?
Yeah, so I've had a move of like coaches and stable now, so I'm over at Mark Tibbs, having him lead my career going forward. So I'm over at Origin Gym in Raynham, and yeah, it's a great start for me. I've had obviously my first fight now. But moving forward, I think it's a great move, and I can't wait to get started. I had my first sparring session on Friday, sparring Louis Edmondson, got some great rounds in, and yeah, training against the likes of Billy Joe Saunders, Harvey Horn, some great fighters, Johnny Fisher. It's a great stable.
Mark Tibbs has got a fantastic reputation. Obviously, he was cornering Billy Joe Saunders on his last fight. But an interesting question to pose to you, John. What was the catalyst to sort of change trainers? What was the reasoning behind that?
Do you know what? I've left my old coach, Sab Leo, who was my amateur coach as well, and he took me through to the pros. We've left on good terms. Everything's going well. It was the reason being I needed a change, Jack. And moving forward, I feel like it was a good move for myself. And speaking to my management and my promotion, they also agreed. So it was really in the position that I've got enough people telling me that this is the right move. So let's go and try it and let's see how I get on. And I've been there. I've done like 4 sessions, and I feel really good there, Jack. So I'm back in pressing, and I sparred really well Friday. And yeah, I've got the buzz back. It's really good. It's exciting times for me.
It's a couple of months since your last fight against Jan Arden. I think it's fair to say that there was a bit of controversy behind that result. In terms of sort of lessons that you learned in that fight, I mean, obviously from your point of view and a lot of people's point of view, you did get thrown in at the deep end. But as an 18-year-old man, you know, fighting a seasoned professional with a good record, what did you learn from that fight, John?
Do you know what I learned, Jack? To be fair, I learned loads. Like people say from their debut, when they're bowling them out in a couple of rounds, they're not learning nothing. All it is another fight. But I think the good thing about me being chucked in the deep end is that I've come out of my first fight learning something, and having learned a lot in them 4 rounds, I learned more than what I've probably learned in my last 10 amateurs. It was in there, and I was hungry to win, but obviously it slowed me down again. If you've got a punch bag in front of you, Jack, you're going to impress and you're going to get rid of them, or you're just going to look real sharp. But Jan Arden, he's not a punch bag. He's a bit of an elusive fighter. He's a good counter puncher. So it was good to get stepped up straight in, as if to say, like, there's my debut in professional boxing. Yes, it wasn't amazing. Yes, it wasn't what people wanted to see. But true boxing people know that wasn't an easy fight. And being a southpaw as well, given to me on late notice, it made things even harder. But I'm glad it's done, and I'm glad we got the first fight of the way, and we want to know and move on to an exciting 2021.
Speaking of 2021, have you got any insight or any information on your second, professional fight?
Nothing to be announced yet, but I've had talks with like the management and promotion, and it's looking like we're going to have hopefully a busy year. As long as everything goes well, injury free, my weight's going to be good. I'm going to stay on top of it. I'm going to start my training now. Like I said, I've been ticking over since my last fight, and soon. We've got a borderline of a couple of different times for my next fight. So as soon as I get the go ahead for that exact date, then that's when we'll start eating it properly and get myself in fighting shape, ready to go again. But everything's looking exciting for 2021. I'm buzzing with it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, start of a new year, and I'm actually going to start the year as a pro, which was obviously different from last year. I was still an amateur up until June, so it's nice to think 2021. I'm a proper professional boxer, mindset, focused, and let's go in there and do it.
In regards to Mark Tibbs, I mean, what pearls of wisdom did he give you on the very first conversation that you had of him? Because I'm pretty sure from your point of view that's been a memorable convo.
Yeah, definitely. Like the first time I went down there, I got the nerves back. Like normally I'm walking back into a gym and I'm not. It's just another day in the office. Do you know what I mean? But as soon as I walked into Mark's, obviously the nerves were unbelievable. I just wanted to impress again, and it did make me impress. I do believe that. I think as soon as the pressure started kicking in, I knew I had to perform, and I sparred well, and I've been looking good in the gym. So Mark considered what he's got there to work with, and that's the main thing. And I put my trust in him now. So his guidance is good enough for me. But if he tells me to walk, I'll walk. Do you know what I mean? Whatever he wants me to do, I'm going to do, and I believe that will get me to the top.
And I'm sure Sam Jones was very pleased at the fact you'd teamed up with Mark Tibbs.
Yeah, definitely. Sam was buzzing with it. And I've got a teammate in Johnny Fisher who's with the same management. So it's great that Sam can come down and not just watch myself, but watch also Johnny Fisher, who's in there with me. So it's a good opportunity for us both being at the same stable.
Good stuff. There's a huge fight on this evening. Well, we say that Sunday morning. Canelo, Callum Smith, WBC super middleweight for title up for grabs. Conflicting opinions on who's going to win this fight. John, what's your opinion? Who's going to win it? Who's your money on?
Yeah, do you know what? Oh, sorry, Jack.
Are you still there, John?
In my personally, I'd love to see Callum do it. Former British, we're all British here, aren't we? So I'd love to see Callum pull it off. He's a shocker. He's a pound for pound king, Canelo. I'd love to see Callum do it, and he's a bit like myself in the fact that I'm nowhere near as got the ranking of him and nothing like that. But he's a tall, rangy fighter, massive at the weight, and it'd be lovely to see someone who I've been looking up to go and beat such a great pound for pound king. But personally, I've got Canelo as a favourite, and I just think what we were saying a bit earlier, looking at the John Ryder fight and the clash of styles there, maybe Canelo's going to go and look off that and think going to sit on his chest. And listen, I think there's going to be a lot of close rounds early on. I think people are going to be watching and think, Callum Smith stands a chance here. But I think as the rounds get in, 5, 6, 7, I think Canelo's going to start landing, and then I think you'll see a stoppage.
Yeah, going back to the John Ryder Callum Smith fight, it was clear to see that John Ryder fights on the inside, not too dissimilar to Canelo. So that may be a worrying factor for Callum Smith. But obviously, Joe Gallagher and the boys are confident that the height, the long levers, the fast jabs, the power punches will be enough to pull off a shock upset.
I'd love to see it, and what people do take for granted with Callum, I think, is that they think he can't hit, and he's got a great. Look at his KO percentage; he can put people away as well. I just hope that come tonight, tomorrow morning, that he doesn't go in there looking for the shocks. I think against a fighter such as Canelo, he'll know how to parry and counter just to a world class level. So hopefully, Callum goes in there. I believe best tactics would be to try and keep it long, but show Canelo that he can mix it if he wants to, but just keeping himself safe in there. But I do believe someone like Smith has all the ability to beat Canelo. It's just on the night. Do you know what I mean? Anything can happen.
I think it's fair to say as well that the majority of the boxing community would love to see Billy Joe Saunders, your teammate, fight Canelo at some point, and people are fancying him to win it.
Yeah, me myself as well. I was talking to Bill only yesterday, and we was talking about the fight and that, and I'd love to see Canelo. I'd love to see Callum come through this one, but I'd love to see Bill take on Canelo. I believe Bill's boxing ability will speak against Canelo, and although you can't take nothing away from him, pound for pound king, one of the greatest the world's ever seen, but I think Bill's got the beatings of him. I really do. I think a focused Billy Joe Saunders can beat anyone on the day. Honest to God, I think he can do it. So training against someone like that, do you know what I mean? And we've seen Bill at his best when he fought the likes of Andy Lee. Which was 5 years ago today. He's boxed some great boys, and I think Bill always keeps himself. One thing with Bill is he's a safe fighter. He always keeps his chin tucked in, and he's very sharp. So I think against the likes of Canelo, Canelo's got to box to Bill's fight instead of Bill boxing to Canelo's.
I think from your point of view as well, John, you're going to get to spar Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, just think about the amount of invaluable lessons you're going to learn at such a young age.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to cop plenty of ardens off him in the time being there, but it's going to be unbelievable, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, I'll take a jab off Billy Joe. I took a jab off a world champion. So there's never no shame in sparring, taking a few punches off him. Do you know what I mean? And it's all learning at the end of the day. And Bill's a nice enough man to let myself learn. We done about 20 minutes of shadow boxing next to each other yesterday, and I was just watching focusing on him and the way he moves his feet. And just the little tricks what I've got to pick up as I develop into a professional. And after time, it's not about what I'm throwing. It's about the little manoeuvres here and there, pushing people off you, cutting off that angle just by another half an inch. And I'm going to learn that being where I'm at.
And how were you welcomed by Billy Joe Saunders and the rest of the team?
Yeah, so I knew Bill before I went down there, which was quite handy. So I did talk to Bill before I moved. And when I got down there, I knew Johnny. So I knew a few of them. I never had met Mark, though, personally. So it was, you know what, they opened me with wide arms. So I come straight in. They treat me like one of the family. And it's been unbelievable since. They're all a nice little group of boys down there. There's normally you always find one in the gym, don't you, like, who no one really clocks with. But that little gym there, it's a proper little setup and it's got everything there. And the boys are unreal. So, yeah, I'm buzzing to be there.
I think it's fair to say, John, you've had an absolutely unbelievable year this year, 2020. S-Jam Boxing, signing to Matchroom. Now this has happened as well. What's 2021 going to bring?
Do you know what, Jack? I just hope more fireworks and a similar year, but a lot busier. Obviously, I didn't really have the chance to be as busy in 2020, only turning pro in that year. So I'm hoping 2021, we're going to start from January and work our way in and have plenty of fights. 4 or 5 fights would be lovely by the end of the year, but some great performances involved as well. And another thing is, I don't think I'm going to be one of these boys, especially being with Eddie, who's just going to have the easy fights. So I'm excited to get in there and mix it in with some good boys and just show what my class is.
Good stuff. John, it's been fantastic speaking to you today. Do you want to thank any sponsors? Have you got any final words at all?
Yeah, so obviously 11 Degrees here. Supported me since I turned pro and they're kitting me out and everything. And they really they helped me carry on boxing. Foxley Builders, Jack Louis Barbers, John Probert from ProStone. I don't want to miss no one now. Warehouse Boxing Gym. Who else we got? No, I think I've done them. So, yeah, thank you to all you boys for helping me carry on in my career and just pushing me to that next level. So, without you, as I always say, it's not possible. And I'd still be on a building site grafting. So, thank you, boys. And, yeah, it's going to be an exciting 2021. So, keep switched on, keep following me, and I won't let you boys down.
John, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thanks for coming on to Sports TV.
Always, mate. Thank you. Happy Christmas to yourself, mate, and have a good one. See you in 2021.
Cheers, mate.
See you later, mate.